Hey, what's going on, guys? I wanted to give a brief review of the Royal Rumble 2012 since I just watched the whole thing on the WWE Network, and I thought it was a pretty good show. So I wanted to kind of just briefly go over everything and just tell you what I thought of the show, match by match. Except for the dark match. Apparently, there was a dark match where Yoshitatsu defeated Heath Slater. Man, could have been big things for Yoshitatsu, but unfortunately, they never came to be. And neither of them were in the Royal Rumble, so that was kind of weird too. You'd think like I'd expect that to be like at least a Royal Rumble qualifier or something, but no, it's just a random match before the show. So Daniel Bryan defeated Mark Henry in the Big Show by escaping the cage to retain his World Heavyweight Championship in a steel cage triple threat. I thought it was a good match. Bryan, he didn't really get much offense in, but like he was more of like the chicken shit heel trying to escape while Big Show and Henry were just the two big dominating guys who had a beef with each other. So I can kind of get it, and it was an entertaining steel cage match. It was good. It's not like a classic steel cage match or anything, but I still had fun watching it. And Bryan was doing a really good job as a heel. But it was weird to hear Cole like constantly like berate him when he was a heel, because I remember Cole actually started coming around to Bryan when he became a heel. And speaking of which, the commentary of the show is Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and Booker T, which is not good. I never liked Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler together. I didn't think they were really a great team. And Booker T coming onto it, he just adds nothing. He just like speaks gibberish half the time, and I could never understand a word he's saying. Uh, so that's that. Um, then up next we got Beth Phoenix, Natalia, the Bella Twins going up against Kelly, Eve Torres, Alicia Fox, and Tamina Snuka. It was fine. It was a Divas match in 2012. It was fine. Nothing wrong with it. Um, I will say it's very weird to see Tamina Snuka as a face. Like I forgot she was ever a good guy. I always associate her with being a heel, like AJ Lee's heel bodyguard, the Usos manager or valet when they came to the WWE at first. Then there's now. Um, so it's just so weird to see her as a face. Um, like when you go back and actually watch the women wrestle, they're actually not really that bad. Like people just have this like bizarre hatred for the divas because they weren't really taken all that seriously by WWE, and a lot of them were like just super like models or stuff that trained to be wrestlers, but they still trained and they're still not bad. I mean, like Kelly, Eve Torres were like really good in this match. I mean, Alicia Fox would get better, and Tamina's but not bad stuff. It was decent, I guess. Um, Kane and John Cena was kind of my least favorite match of the night. Crowd was really into Kane, and I always thought his new mask was kind of cool, and I liked the remix of his song. Cena, like they had this rise above hate thing, and I kind of get where they were going for, but it didn't look like Cena was in any real danger. Like you could have at least had Kane beat Cena here. Like it wouldn't have hurt Cena at all to take a loss to Kane. But that didn't happen. It ended in a double countout, and I skipped over this, but I'm pretty sure like Kane had tombstone Zack Ryder because this was part of WWE's ongoing mission to make Zack Ryder seem like the biggest loser ever. You hear a lot about burials in wrestling, and like most of the time they don't really line up. Like they're not really burials; they're more just stupid things that happen. But the guy will always come back from it. This was a complete burial if I've ever seen one. Like the guy lost his United States Championship. He gets beaten up by Kane constantly. He breaks Eve Torres like cheats on him and he breaks up with her, but then she convinces him to go back together with her, and then she costs him a match at WrestleMania, making him look like an idiot. And then he lost to Kane at Over the Limit, and that was pretty much the end of Zack Ryder's big push. So yeah, there. Well, yep, there you go. Up next was kind of a squash with Brodus Clay and Drew McIntyre. I forgot how over Brodus Clay was. Like, people may shit on the gimmick of the Funkasaurus, but it was still over. People liked it. And Brodus Clay, like, is not a bad wrestler at all. Like, he's decent, and he looks terrifying. Like, seriously, if I saw that guy come up to me, I wouldn't be like really laughing at him because he looks like he could kill me if he wanted to. But it was short and sweet. Nothing wrong with it. But it's weird to see how the most successful person to come out of this Funkasaurus and Funkadactyl pairing was Naomi. And it's also very weird because I remember seeing Brodus Clay on Superstars when he was like, yeah, that song was like, "You're gonna rip it up, come on, you're gonna rip it up," and he had the mohawk and he was just like destroying people. And they had hyped him up as that character, but for some reason they changed him into this. I don't know the backstory to that, but that's very interesting. And now for my match of the night, CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler, with John Laurinaitis as a special guest enforcer. What's very weird about this is that he was supposed to have a performance review on Raw, so he wasn't really trying to screw Punk, even though he said he would. So that kind of took a bit out of the match, and it kind of makes it really pointless why he was there in the first place. Like, if he had tried to be a biased referee, and then Triple H said, "Oh, you get a guess what? Surprise job evaluation," then I would get it. But it's just weird. And then the last like 2 to 3 minutes of this were like a giant clusterfuck, where it's like something happens to the referee, Laurinaitis tries to care for him, and Punk has the match won. And then John Laurinaitis tries to calm Punk down, but Punk has Ziggler up for the GTS, but Ziggler's legs accidentally hit Laurinaitis on the side of the head, so he bounces out of the ring. Then Punk doesn't get the pin again, so he gets mad at fucking Laurinaitis. And Ziggler comes back with a really nice GTS counter, like a leg drop bulldog counter into a GTS from a GTS. So that was cool. But Punk was able to win with a second GTS. And for some reason, Laurinaitis came in and mirrored the referee's count. I have no idea why he did that, but I mean, it was a great match up until like that weird clusterfuck stuff. But you know, it was a great match. You can't go wrong with Punk and Ziggler. And now for the main event, the Royal Rumble match. I actually kind of enjoyed this Rumble match. It was a silly Rumble match because Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and Booker T were all in this match. And I'm just looking at this now. Michael Cole really did last longer than Jerry Lawler by almost a full minute, like almost a full minute longer than Jerry Lawler, like 40 seconds. Ricardo Rodriguez was also in the Rumble. Is kind of sad too because he came out in like a really shitty car, and like, oh god, that's awful. Like freaking Alberto Del Rio doesn't pay him enough for a good car. And I'm looking at this now. Cody has the most eliminations in this match at 6. This one thing I did enjoy about this match was all the new guys that they were trying to give some time to, like all the new guys, like people who thought they were going to be the big stars, like Cody Rhodes, Unico. I mean, there was just a lot of characters on here that I remember liking, and they had a good mix of the oldies. And Karma coming was cool, and they gave Dolph Ziggler a good run despite him having wrestled freaking CM Punk earlier. And this is the match where Sheamus won the Rumble, and for everything that people have said about Sheamus, he was over at this time. People did like Sheamus. And I liked him too back then, and I still like him now. It came down to him and Jericho. Jericho had just come back from doing whatever it was he was doing outside of WWE, and Sheamus was able to eliminate him after some good back and forth. So overall, I thought this Rumble was really good. I do remember a lot of people being miffed that Jericho didn't win. And I mean, I'm personally not really that mad about it because he did get his WWE title match at Mania against Punk anyway. So it's not like he lost anything losing to Sheamus. And Sheamus was a really good world heavyweight champion for the company. So I am not mad at that at all. So I would grade this Royal Rumble pay-per-view a 7 out of 10. An entertaining Royal Rumble, good world title matches, and showing off some of the new guys like Brodus Clay, and Cody Rhodes, like some of the news people they want to make stars. That's also very good. If I had any problems with the show, it was Kane and Cena. I didn't care for the match. I didn't care for the ending, and I didn't care for Zack Ryder's complete burial. So there you go. Now, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channels. I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the month, or 1,000. So remember to stay beautiful, everybody, because I most certainly am not going to do that for you.